Hello YouTube, I'm Jack Clark, and of course this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Britain coming to you with another video. How are you? Now of course my last video was a 6-second video of me just literally dun dun dun! Evolzor Dolkka is a collector's tin 2012 tin secret. And I of course, someone on that video did say, oh, this is a really lazy way to tell us all about it, I'd rather hear your opinion on it. And of course, that was actually my intention. That first video, of course, I put it on there simply so I could ignite some discussion going, so that when I do give you my opinion, it has context and I can further base and have a much more solid opinion. So of course, what I think about the Evolzor Dolkka reprint. So as it goes, I really like the fact that it's been reprinted. However, I'm really quite disappointed it's been reprinted as a secret for a tin. I mean, of course, it's now very, very easy to get, and of course, all the naysayers out there who have been saying, they're not going to reprint a secret as a secret, because Jinzo wasn't a secret when it was first released and then didn't become a tin secret. But in addition to that, of course, in the description down below, there'll be a link to a, I think it's either German, Dutch, or French, I'm not sure. I only had a quick look, but of course a retailer has listed the Dolkka and frickin' Excalibur tins on their site, so I think this is pretty much confirmed at this point, because I mean, they're not really going to post it on their site unless they have actually got word from Konami about it. So I think this is pretty much confirmed now, so yeah. As it goes, I actually own 2 Dolkkas as it is. I mean, someone was saying, it's going to depreciate in price, but I don't really mind it depreciating in price, because I actually intend to use my Evolzor Dolkkas already in my Evil deck, so I love how people are saying that, oh no, it's going to my stuff is going to depreciate in price. Were you going to sell it? And then they'll say no. And like, what the hell's the problem then? I mean, all I'm going to do is, if I can, I'll get 2 of the Dolkkas and try and sell and trade off the ones I have currently. But to be fair, there's literally not going to be any difference at all. There's literally going to be a little bit of writing on there that's going to be the difference between their pricing, which is going to be ridiculous. That literally just a tiny bit of writing is going to mean that this secret Dolkka is worth more than this secret Dolkka. It's kind of silly, that. As for why this has been reprinted, I think it's probably just around the lines. Of course, this time around they were Konami's promoting Exeses. They want to push Exeses as much as they can, of course, for Yu-Gi-Oh! ZL or Yu-Gi-Oh! Zex or whatever you want to call it, just so they can help. It's just so they can boost more people playing this game and more people focusing on Exeses, because it works well with the television show and everything. So of course, the fact that these are the first wave of tins are both Exeses doesn't surprise me in the slightest, of course. But of course, people are saying that the Dolkka reprint is going to mean that of course there are going to be some Dino Rabbit players, more Dino Rabbit players out of the wazoo, and I'm going to have to say, what? No, of course not. Because, I mean, of course, having Dolkka be reprinted as much easier to get, stupidly easy to get, because it will be a tin card now, it still doesn't mean that we're going to have loads of Rabbit players. I mean, Christ, you still need to get free Rabbits, free Tour Guides, which, although reprinted, are still quite hard to get, free Lagia. So you need to get Lagias before you even think about Dolkkas, and they are much easier to get than Dolkkas, but in addition to the Rabbits, Tour Guides, Levier, Zenmains, and everything else you're going to need, I don't think the fact that these Dolkkas being reprinted is going to make too much of a difference, and it's not going to be the breaking point between someone not playing Dino Rabbit and someone playing Dino Rabbit. However, to be fair, the people who want to play Dino Rabbit are already playing it at this point, because, well, they've had enough time to trade for it all. Well, in addition to that, actually, I mean, of course, this reprint, it doesn't particularly help Dino Rabbit as much. I mean, if you want to make Dino Rabbit now, it's a little bit easier, you don't have to spend as much money. But, of course, it does help boost dinosaur decks, and evil decks in particular, of course. I mean, for the evil player who wants to make evils, obviously, Dolkka was one of those cards. It's like, oh shit, it's like, it was a stupid amount of money for a deck that is tier 2. And, of course, this now means that they can get much easier access to it. So, of course, I already have 2 Dolkkas, but I know a couple of people who are looking for Dolkkas, and now they'll be able to make their evil deck. And they'll have access to Dolkka, which is really, really good, and you kind of need access to Dolkka in an evil deck. It doesn't quite work without it. So the fact that people want to have access to it is a very good thing. And I think that, unlike with Dino Rabbit, this reprint's not going to make much for Dino Rabbit. Not more people are going to play Dino Rabbit because of a Dolkka reprint, but more people may start playing Evils because of a Dolkka reprint, simply because getting Lagias is actually much easier than people think. I mean, in the UK, you can purchase a reasonable price for £15, which is actually quite reasonable, and you can easily trade for that amount. And of course, you got the Seratos, which are Ultra, which aren't too high. I wouldn't value them any more than 10. But you can get them for 7. If you play your cards right, 7. Of course, Westlows no more than 5 really. Najashos no more than that either. I mean, and the rest of the cards are really stupidly easy to get. They got their Rota Evo Diversity, which is a rare, and you got loads of other stuff. They got their Evo Force, which is a super, but again, no more than a 5. It's quite easy to make, and I think this Dolkka reprint will be the difference in people playing Evos and not playing Evos. So. But however, whether or not this means that we'll have more tournament appearances by Evos, of course, with Michael Smith-Grant being one of those people who has topped and been quite successful with Evos, whether or not this will mean that Evos will start appearing more in tournaments will be interesting, and we'll have to keep our eyes peeled. However, I don't think this means that more people... It will mean that more people start playing it. That's what I think anyway. But of course, this is just my opinion. As much as my opinion is just like the best thing ever. But, of course, I would love to hear what you think about this Dolkka reprint, in addition to the Heroic Champion Excalibur reprint, which will be also the wave, which will be in Wave 1 as well. So, in the comments down below, as a video response, I would love to hear what you think about the Dolkka and Excalibur reprints. In addition to that, I'd love to hear what 4 cards would you like to see as the Tin Supers. Of course, I was really hoping for Maxi and Zenmain's reprints as secrets, but of course they could very well become Tin Supers. In addition to that, I'd really like to see more Shonen Jump legalization promos. Of course, I live in England, which is part of the European territory for Konami, which means I don't have access to Weisel, and of course we do have access to Granel, but of course it's a jump card, and a World Championship prize card, so it's quite hard to get, and I don't want to try and have to get it from overseas. And I would like to be able to use Weisel and all these other jump cards. But yeah, I'd like to see legalization promos, competitive cards be reprinted, because I think, although I do still think that if you try to find patterns within Konami's product decisions, you're a fool. There are some which hold more merit than others. Like, for example, someone was saying that, of course, they're not going to reprint a secret as a secret. No. Well, of course, Jinzo was as well. But people are saying, I do think that the assumption that they will have a competitive Tin Super that will be in both waves, that will be something that which is more likely to happen than anything else. I mean, they did that in the last 2 waves with Duality and Solemn Warning, and those are the reasons why people bought the tins. Because, of course, getting the tin secret is always good, but this way, you actually have a way to get people who wouldn't buy a tin otherwise. Because if there weren't any tin supers in this set, I wouldn't buy it at all. But, of course, now, potentially I will, because there will be some groovy reprints. But yes, that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, I want to hear your opinions on what you would see as the Tin Supers. What do you think about Dolkka and Excalibur being reprinted? And put those in the comments down below as a video response. We want to get some discussion. Keep this discussion going. And, of course, I'm Jack Clark. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Britain. Goodbye.